Hello, lovely witches. This is Dawn from Aurora Dawn. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. In this video, I want to discuss forgiveness. I know that forgiveness can be very, very difficult for some people, and I want to discuss it to help you better understand what forgiveness is all about and that how it is self-empowering and how it brings your power back to you and your control over your life. Okay, so what is forgiveness? First off, forgiveness does not, I repeat, does not let the other person off the hook. We hear about, oh, somebody confesses, oh, I did it, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And there's an expectation to let that person off the hook. Excuse me, I gotta reposition myself. Okay, that's better. Thank you. Uh, but really, it's not about letting the person off the hook. That's not what's going on. In fact, that person still has to account for their own karma. And if, somebody runs into your car, they should pay for it. Whether they did it on purpose or not, whether they apologize or not, they still did damage to your car. And so they are responsible, right? I mean, that's how our society works. So if somebody, say, commits murder, say somebody killed your mother, can you forgive that person? You need to learn to do that. Not because you're letting them off the hook. Oh, it's okay, I forgive you. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that, because then you open yourself up to more trauma and stuff from that other person has more power over you when you, when you don't forgive. But when you do forgive and you let them off the hook, then that gives them the okay to keep doing it. So it's not your responsibility to change them. It's not your responsibility to teach them a lesson. I know a lot of people like to do that. I'm going to teach them a lesson. But if they're not in a place where they are conscious of what they've done wrong, or even open to learning from their mistake, there's nothing you can do that can teach them a lesson. So if you're driving in traffic, and I have a friend who is Italian, I mean really Italian. His parents are from Italy, and he is very aggressive in driving when he's driving down the road. So, and I've driven with them, and somebody cut in front of him a little too fast, right? And I'm going to teach him a lesson. He whips around and he cuts in front of them. See, how do you like it? But if the person is completely unaware of that, I've accidentally cut people off, and I hate doing that. I hate it when that happens. But I'm not paying close enough attention, so I accidentally cut somebody off, and I'm apologetic. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But they're like, wow, why are you so resentful at a mistake? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But he wants to teach them a lesson, right? See, how do you like it? Well, if they're not aware, if they did it on accident and they're not even aware that they did it, they didn't do it on purpose, then, or they just, they don't care, they're not going to be open to being taught a lesson. Okay, so whatever you do, they're not even going to accept it. They're not going to see it as you're trying to teach them anything. So it's not your responsibility to teach them a lesson. It's not your responsibility to let them off the hook. Forgiveness is about you letting go of their karma. Now, I did a video, I'll try and find it and put the link down below, about how I handled my mother acting out to me. And we had a falling out, and we stopped talking for about a year. And I had to go through my own, the things that I teach my students. I had to use all those tools, and I continue to use them. So the forgiveness exercise that I teach, I've used that at least 3 times on my mom because it keeps coming up, and I don't want to hang on to it. So I release it, and I do my healing, and I bring that energy back in, and I get back into a place of compassion and love towards her. and I want to be in that place. I recognize that she is in a situation or place in her life where she is very um, resentful, I guess, or bitter, or I think there's a little bit of addiction to rage. She is always looking for something to rage on and get angry about. And there is a thing, you can get addicted to that, to rage. And so you're looking for it. And you're on Facebook and you see a funny cat video and you scroll on past. You see, somebody posting pictures of their grandchild, their baby. You scroll past that. And then you see a post about Donald Trump. You attack. That's what I'm talking about. You don't even see the funny cat video. You don't even see the cute little babies, pictures of babies. You don't see the funny videos. You don't see, be true to yourself kind of posts. But when you see a Trump post, or you see a Democrat post about Democrats and political stuff, and then you see something to rage about, to get angry about, and so when I forgive her, I release all of that stuff that I was carrying on my shoulders. And I went through in that video, I went through step by step how I did it, because I took basically and I went into details, so watch that video. But basically what I did is I took what she was criticizing and judging me for, and I went through it and I went inside and I said, where is this? This has got to be in here, because when she criticizes me using it, I get upset. And that's how you know you've just been triggered. You have just been triggered, and there's a toxic belief that's bubbling up, and you got to find it. So it's a clue. And so I start rooting around inside of my own shadow self, and I found every single one of them. Now, it's not an exact match. So if somebody is criticizing me and calling me a lazy dumbass, it doesn't mean that I have a toxic belief that I'm lazy. It might be something about self-respect. It might be something about I'm not good enough. It might be something about not meeting expectations. So it's really a sleuthing kind of thing, but you got to release that stuff. And so it's not just saying I forgive you. It's writing down what you criticize them about, and recognizing that when you criticize them because you're resentful towards them, all that stuff you write down that you're criticizing them, that's their karma. That's their stuff that they need to work on. And you're holding on to it with anger and with hurt and with, disgust and disappointment and all of that. You're hanging on to their stuff. Forgiveness is letting go of all of that and saying, this is your karma. You need to deal with all of this. I'm not going to hold on to it anymore. I'm releasing it to you. That's what forgiveness is really all about. Bottom line. But at the same time, there's a lot of criticism and judgment and stuff like that. What are they judging you about? And then you are responsible for finding all of that out. And then the relationship between you can be healed. Maybe. Depends on the other person. But as long as you heal yourself, then they can't trigger you. They might come back with the criticism and stuff like that, and you're like, what? So what? Okay, big deal. Maybe you're right. If you can't get them to agree with how you see things, and they're continually saying, well, you're me, you might just have to say, maybe you're right, and just walk away. There are some people, there's nothing you can do to change their mind. You can give them all of the evidence in the world, and it won't change their mind, because they're so stuck in their rage against you and that's where you gotta let go of them. And when you do that, then if they continue to rage, you are not triggered, and that's where you want to be. Then you're doing really well. It's hard, I know. And sometimes you have to do this forgiveness again and again and again. And then you get into the habit of it, and you can just do it like that. Oh, I'm getting triggered. Let's let this go. I don't want to hang on to it. I don't want to get pulled into their drama. I don't want to get triggered, and I don't want this stuff bubbling up. So I'm going to let it go. But if you do get triggered, you just spend some time in meditating on what it is they're criticizing you and if it's really there. Because if you're getting triggered, then you need to heal it because it's coming up and trying to interfere with your life. Okay? So hopefully that helps. And I hope that you can work on that because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So let me know in the comments what you think about forgiveness. Do you have a hard time forgiving because you think you're letting the other person off the hook? You don't even have to say I forgive you to the other person. You don't have to say I'm sorry. You don't have to do anything. Okay? You just fix yourself, heal yourself. Get yourself back into a place of bliss, of joy, so you feel comfortable in this world. Okay? That's very important. So leave me comments. Thank you so much for watching. Do something today that brings you joy. It makes you feel good. I love you all. And until next time, blessed be.